Okay, so we're going to start a new build here. It's going to be another commemorative build. This is kind of what put me on the map around this area for doing these and got me started on doing a lot of guitar work, is doing these commemorative builds that were kind of fun to do. So the first one I ever did, I did for the police department and an organization within the police department called the Care Team. And what I did was I collected a whole bunch of challenge coins that the different units on the department had, and I inlaid them into the body of a guitar, and then we raffled it off and made a pretty good amount of money for the Care Team. So that's what this one is going to be again this year. It's going to be another guitar, but this guitar is going to be themed towards the Super Bowl champions this year, since we're in Kansas City. And this is one of the coins that I'm going to inlay into this body. It's one side of it is the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl 57 winners. The other side is the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department, and it has the outline of the cityscape in the background behind the badge. So the idea behind this is I'm going to drill 3 holes that are going to go all the way through this body for this one coin. The first one, I'm going to use a pilot bit so that I can make sure that I stay in line all the way through after I change out the bits. The second one is going to be enough that I can set this coin inside, but it's not going to go all the way through. It's only going to go deep enough for this coin to sit flush inside the body. And then the third one goes through the back so you can see both sides of the coin and still leave me a shelf. So that's why I'm going to drill the pilot bit, or the pilot hole. There's nothing real special about doing this. It's just paying attention to how deep you're going, what bits you're going to use, how you're going to do this. And I'm going to do this with my 1/8 inch brad point bit to stay straight. And then I'll use a couple Forstner bits to get the other holes I need in order to make it fit. I've already decided where I want to put the coin. So this one's actually going to end up with 2 coins. It's going to have one here, and it's going to have another coin that's going to be rather special also over here. So the biggest part about this is you're just drilling through wood. So, you know, just having enough fortitude to drill the holes through a guitar for no other reason than to say you did it, basically. So. Okay, so I'm going to slide the coin in from the front. I'm going to put the bigger hole on the front side, and then I'll put the smaller, and it's going to go about halfway through, and then I'll put the smaller hole on the back side. And there you have it. We have a hole drilled all the way through. We got a little bit of a tear out right there, not a big deal. That's something I can easily fix. So, and like I said, the coin will sit inside here, will rest on the shelf. I went from a 2 inch to 1 7/8 inches, so you can see it on both sides. And I may actually go through and drop this in just a little bit more to sink it down a little further, since I can actually see where it's at now. So yeah, I may drop that down. I'm going ahead and do that right now, actually. And there we have a coin seated just about evenly, front and back. This is all said and done. When this is all said and done, it's painted. I'll end up rounding these edges over, so like I said, the tear out's not an issue. I'll round those over, fill them in just a little bit. This is all going to get a rather unique paint job too, so really cool start. So I had a little bit of tear out on the edge. You're typically going to get that using a Forstner bit if you try to go all the way through. But for the most part, I had a fairly clean hole. No real complaints here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the rough area right here. Just using some of the best stuff in the world for this. Good old-fashioned auto body Bondo. I'm not going to need a whole lot, obviously. It's just a little spot right here. When you put this on, go ahead and build it up to a callus a little bit so that when it dries, it'll shrink a little bit. It doesn't have to be a real thick callus or anything, but it's got to be a little higher. Just like anything else, when you work with it, you want to have extra on it so that when you sand it back down, you're not sanding down into the hole. All you're doing is sanding it back down to flush with the rest of everything else. And whenever you're doing this kind of sanding, always use a block. The block will, when it's all said and done, this block will be your best friend because it'll give you your straight, smooth edge. And even when you're going inside, make sure you have a block of some sort because, again, it'll be your best friend. It's what will take you straight to the surface that you need to go to and stop you. So now I've got this sanded off flush. Let's go on ahead and round over the edge on the back side. Rounding over the edge really is a do-it-by-feel type of thing when you're doing this. I'm just going to use a piece of 220 sandpaper. I'm going to use my thumb on the edge and I'm just going to go around the edge of it until it literally rounds over. All I'm trying to do is soften the edge on this so that it's, and I like doing this using my thumb because the thumb is flexible and it conforms to the edge of the, and your finger even, and it conforms to the edge of the lip here. That'll work for that side. So this side, let me think about this for a second and make 100% for sure this is what I want to do with this, because once I remove it, it's not coming back. And even though it's all done by hand, I'm still going to move slow and easy. But I'm going to do this with a file. This is a double cut half round file. The idea is to, like I said, take it down to the pencil line, take it down to the tape line. I'm going to put this in a vise and do it in a vise because it's just a heck of a lot easier to hold, so bear with me here. So that will make that coin stand out a lot more. And again, just like I did on the back side, little round over on the edge. And there we have a nice opened up hole that we can see that coin a lot easier with from different angles. So now I'm going to come over here where my bit went in and I have a lot of tool marks, and I'm just going to smooth that up. I just want to clean it up, take the rough edges out. There we have a fairly smooth, ready to use area. And I did kind of get a little close on that lip, but there's still enough there to keep it there for me when I grain fill this and when I glue the coin in place. There'll be enough to hold it. All right, little grain filler. I use Wonder Fill for foam and wood. When I'm doing this, it's very, very light touch. Not hardly pushing at all, just enough to keep contact between the paper and the surface that I'm sanding on. little thick. A couple spots. That's okay. I can sand it back out.